So has an element of calm finally returned to the streets now that Mr. Rajapaksa has resigned? Joining me now, Wickremesinghe-Gotabaya, former State Minister of Finance, Member of Parliament. Also appreciate your joining us, Mr. Wickremesinghe. Can we say that the worst is possibly over now that the President has finally resigned, or will this situation only be diffused after the acting President, Ranil Wickremesinghe, also steps down and you have a possible all-party government in place?
I think the fact that the President is gone certainly is a good thing, because the struggle was about the Rajapaksa's going and Gotabaya Rajapaksa going. So that has been achieved. Unfortunately, in this particular way, when actually there was a more dignified, peaceful way of him having afforded to do that, but he didn't take that option. So now the Ranil Wickremesinghe becomes the acting president, and by tomorrow, I think we need to have a prime minister in place. I think all these steps will immediately help towards creating some political stability. Then after that, we need to have a president in office for the unexpired term of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. That will be decided by Parliament, and that could be decided by Parliament very, very quickly.
But you know, there are 2 points that emerge. One is Gotabaya Rajapaksa. We saw pictures of him happily shopping at Changi Airport. He's now reportedly on his way from Singapore to Saudi Arabia. He seems to have got away. It almost seems as if part of the deal that Ranil Wickremesinghe may have had is to allow Mr. Rajapaksa safe passage out of the country.
Certainly, the people will be demanding that justice be done. I think there is no question. This struggle has gone on for months. And in this struggle, it said, Gota, go home. It said, we want to go after corruption. We want clean government. We want systems change. And therefore, you know, whatever that has happened is not the end of the story. You know, we certainly have to bring in legislation to recover stolen assets. We have a commission, anti-bribery commission. There is already a law drafted to strengthen it. That has to be brought in. And then justice will be pursued. Justice will be pursued.
But he's gone. But he's gone. Justice will be pursued. You'll have, I mean, Gotabaya Rajapaksa is gone. He's out of the country. So what do you believe will be the so-called justice that you will now get?
Yeah. I think everything has to be within the legal and process, right? And if the president has left the country, that is unfortunate. But that doesn't mean that our struggle, and we have identified with the protest all along, will stop. We will continue, because justice must be done and seem to be done. So there are unfortunately lots of hitches and hiccups in that process. And the people who are responsible for that will also have to answer in that process.
But will the real solution be fresh elections? Is that the only way now to create an environment in which Sri Lanka can get back on track, at least politically? Economically is a bigger fight, but politically, is a fresh election, in your view, the only way, or some kind of a national government now?
I think the immediate thing is basically to have a national government, because the immediate things need to be resolved. And one among them is there are shortages of gas and petroleum. The gas issue temporarily has been sorted out. The petroleum issue is a big issue. People have been waiting for days for petrol and not obtained it. So a quick multi-party government will help, because it will create some political stability. It will create some acceptance locally and internationally and in the markets. And the moment that happens, I think the situation will improve. So we need to look at the immediate things like that. And you are absolutely right. And then ultimately, once that stability has been created, we have to start on the road, because we have been basically not being able to service our debt. We have started conversations with the IMF. I think within weeks of the new government really taking office, it's possible to sign a staff level agreement with the IMF. within a few months to put it in place as well. So this is really the start. The confidence returning will help, because when confidence returns, even the remittances coming into Sri Lanka by expatriate Sri Lankans will also increase, which will help to diffuse the situation.
Right.
So we have to start with the political reform immediately.
Okay. Mr. Wickremesinghe-Gotabaya, you're talking of political reforms taking place and all-party government possibly in place as early as sometime next week. Thank you very much for joining me here on the news today. Thank you.